So whenever one of the big three gets overconfident, we kind of are able to see it. We can call it out. And although this last Nintendo Direct was pretty good, in my opinion, it wasn't like bad, but it wasn't excellent. There definitely was a lot of stuff that's starting to show that Nintendo's reaching that point again where they just become overconfident and lazy. Now, we've seen this before with Sony and Microsoft. They get overconfident and they just start doing really stupid stuff, and we, the gamers, the customers, consumers, kind of got to put them back in their place. The media does it too as well. We saw it with the transition from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3. As Sony came off the hype of the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 success, they purposely made the PlayStation 3 with the cell processor difficult to develop for, because they said, we're Sony, people are going to come to us, develop for our system. They're going to learn how to develop for this PlayStation 3, and they're not going to have time, and they're not going to bother developing for the Xbox 360 or the Wii, which we all know how that turned out. PS3 ended up being hard to develop for. Developers were like, man, screw this. We're the 360's go-to platform. And then the 360 initially did a lot better than PlayStation 3. So Sony kind of had to humble themselves. They started pumping out exclusives. They came out with the slim PS3 model, and they had to put a lot of work. They turned it around eventually, but it required a lot of work just because of that one, hey, we're so awesome, overconfident, dumb decision. And we've seen it with Microsoft as well. Not too far back, but just kind of recently here with the revealment of the Xbox One. When the Xbox One was initially revealed, you guys know, we all know how bad it was and how we all reacted, and Microsoft had to turn everything around. They had to do basically a complete 180 on everything, the entire reveal of it. Like, we weren't going to stand for that crap. It has to be connected to the internet at least once every 24 hours. Use games, I don't think there was use games, every game had to be downloaded. Just like all this crazy stupid stuff. And again, they got that coming off of the 360, how, hey, we did really good with the 360, it was the go-to platform for developers, and it was the dominant console in Europe and America, and it held second place for the longest time, pretty much the entire relevancy of the last generation of consoles, without Japan. That was crazy. And here we are now with Nintendo, not so much with the Wii U. Like, we can tell Nintendo's trying really hard with the Wii U because it is dead last, at least, last time I looked. They're coming out with all these exclusives, quality games, it already has a good library of games. But here with the 3DS, they're definitely just getting a little too comfortable. I mean, Nintendo's always, we all know they've always had the handheld market pretty much on lockdown. But now with the Vita not really doing too much, Sony can't really figure it out. Sony themselves even pretty much said we're not supporting this thing anymore. So here we have Nintendo with the new 3DS, and it's not like it's a bad model. I hear great things about it. I haven't got my hands on one yet, but it looks good. I like all the new features that are coming with it. But the fact that, like, small details, one, the name's bad. New 3DS, like, that's not going to confuse anyone. I mean, we're gamers, we're up to date, we know, but the average consumer, people that go out to Walmart or Target, I need a new 3DS. Alright, which new 3DS? The new 3DS, or are we just talking about a brand new 3DS? And then, yeah, I could just imagine it getting very confusing from there for, like, parents and stuff. And then, it doesn't come with the charger. This is a very weird and bad decision, in my opinion. I don't think there's any way to defend this. Like, Nintendo says that it's the same charger as, the DSi, DSi XL, 3DS, and 3DS XL. A lot of people have these chargers. Okay, fine, true, a lot of people do have those chargers. But, in order to get the 3DS, these people that are doing upgrades are most likely going to trade in their old systems, and most places won't even let you trade in the system without the charger. So they're basically going to have to, unless they plan on keeping their old system as well, they're going to have to trade in the chargers that they have. And also, it's not like, okay, 3DS chargers kind of common, but it's not like in every household, If it was like the micro USB charger, the same charger that Android phones use, If it was that, then I'd be like, okay, that'd be somewhat acceptable. I still think it's stupid, but that would be far more acceptable than, you know, a proprietary charger. So yeah, it's just like they're getting a little too complacent with the 3DS, and I don't like it. I don't think any of us do. And also, Nintendo of America, for some reason, just hasn't really been caring much lately. And I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because, again, the overconfident thing, Nintendo's doing well over here in the States. Because I know over in Europe, or at least the UK, like, Nintendo, they go all out with these collector's editions, with, you know, bringing everything over. They've been doing a lot better than Nintendo of America recently, as far as, you know, pleasing the fans. And I just don't understand, like, especially the decision not to release the normal new 3DS. You know, we're getting the XL only. And, you know, I was going to get the XL version anyways, honestly, so it's not a big deal to me, but just the fact that you're taking away the option for the regular size new 3DS that I actually knew a lot of people were going to pick up. They were excited for that particular model. They wanted the faceplates. I think that was a big thing a lot of people wanted, was, you know, the faceplates. So you could pretty much be able to customize the outside of your 3DS and be able to tell, hey, this is my 3DS, you know, instead of doing what I do and just like I throw stickers on mine, so that's how I can tell. So yeah, but Nintendo has the handheld market just completely, you know, owned, more or less. So I don't know if this is going to change. It's probably going to be a continuing trend until someone can come along and challenge Nintendo in the handheld space. I'm not sure anyone really can, but I don't like this. I'd like to see Nintendo humble themselves. I'd like all the big three to just sit down and like humble themselves and actually come up with, you know, the best business practices and products for the consumers and not the business, if that's making sense. You know, a lot of times it goes hand in hand, but some instances it doesn't. So that's how I feel about that. PyroTakun out.